Welcome to this video presentation for Corporations Law Assessment 2. In this video we'll be discussing any possible breaches of the Corporations Act that may have occurred due to the actions of the following three natural people. So, who are the people in question? Firstly, Patrick McLean. Patrick McLean is the Managing Director of Noble Bio Limited. Noble Bio is an ASX-listed biotechnology company based in Melbourne. Secondly, Leah Vincent. Dr. Leah Vincent is the Executive Director of the company's Research Department. And lastly, Alice Long is a Non-Executive Director of Noble Bio. She is also a partner of a separate national accounting firm and has no special knowledge nor experience in any branch of medicine. To aid in this presentation, we will first identify the issue, state the relevant rules, analyze the issue as it pertains to the rules, then conclude our findings. This is known as IRAC. So, first, the issue. The issue centers around Noble Bio's new product, Mirror Drug, which is advertised to aid in the reduction of symptoms associated with COVID-related mycoplasma infections. Whilst Mirror Drug does aid in the reductions of mycoplasma infections amongst adults, there have been rare incidences involving children where they have developed serious side effects such as pneumonia. The research department headed by Dr. Vincent are aware of the side effects, but as of now are not yet able to discover the mechanism by which Mirror Drug is causing these side effects. Following a few local newspaper reportings this issue, Patrick advises Leah to prepare a draft ASX announcement. The announcement is submitted to the board and there is no active discussion of the matter. Patrick instructs the company to forward the message. This message, however, is widely criticized by other experts in the field, which causes the company's share price to plummet and many investors to lose their money. So, going forward, we are taking the position that the ASX statement given by Noble Bio is misleading. Their research department knew and is investigating the side effects, but cannot pinpoint the mechanism. Comparing this information against their public statement, which they stated that there is no link in the inciting incident. There is no link, this is the inciting incident. So the issue at hand is who is responsible for releasing the misleading statement. Now that we have established the issue, let's move on to the rule. All three people are designated as officers of the company, and as such, subject to the following statutory duties of the Corporations Act outlined in Section 180, those being Section 180, 181A and 1B, Section 182, 183 and Section 189. Those are the primary rules we'll be drawing on. Now, let's analyze everyone's roles, starting with Patrick. Patrick is the Managing Director of Noble Bio. As such, he is responsible for the day-to-day running and management of the company. When we examine his actions against Section 180, we can apply the objective reasonable person test. This test asks that when compared against a reasonable person in a similar position, would that reasonable person make the same decision? We can see that Patrick has acted with the best interests of the companies in mind. He tasked Dr. Vincent to submit a statement as she is the SME on the matter. He also complied with Section 181 and 182 and has acted in good faith and not improperly used his position. However, as the corporation's executive director, the buck must ultimately stop with him. A common law case that highlights a similar issue is the case of Australian Securities and Investments Commission versus Healy, 2011. As outlined in Section 569 of his judgment, Justice Middleton stated, each director relied completely on the process in place and their advisors. All the directors failed to see the obvious error because they all took the same approach in relying exclusively upon their processes and advisors. A correlation can be seen with Noble Bio. Patrick, as the managing director, tasked Dr. Vincent with drafting the ASX statement. He failed to do his own research or investigation on the claims made in his statement. Had he done so, he would have, and as such a reasonable person would have seen, that the statement is misleading about the side effects of Mirror Drug. At common law, as outlined in Daniel v. Anderson, directors are required to take reasonable steps to place themselves in a position to guide and monitor the company. Now, we can examine the actions of Noble Bio's non-executive director, Alice Long. Non-executive director of Noble Bio, while she is not responsible for the day-to-day runnings of the company, she is, however, responsible for the experience she brings to the company. We are told that she is a partner of a national-level accounting firm, and as such is, as defined in Gold Ribbons Accounting v. Shears, she gives the company the benefit of her skill and experience. As a director, she is also subject to Section 180 of the Corporations Act, similar to Patrick. However, a common law case of Sheehan versus Vercrow found that whilst a non-executive director has breached their duty of care by failing to put themselves in the position of monitoring the company and act with the best interest and good faith as outlined, their negligent action did not cause the company's value to drop, and as such, the investors to be affected. Lastly, Dr. Vincent. Dr. Vincent is the executive director heading up the research department of Noble Bio. As an officer of Noble Bio, she is also subject to the same statutory requirements outlined in the Corporations Act. Given all the information when applying the objective reasonable person test outlined under Section 180, we can see that she has potentially breached this section by releasing a misleading statement, which, as such, caused inciting incident. Dr. Vincent is aware that mirror drug, in some rare instances, can cause side effects in children. We are told that her research department have been able to rule out other known causes of the side effects, but as of yet haven't been able to discover the mechanism which is causing them. When compared against the ASX statement, which states that Noble Bio's research has revealed no link between mirror drug and serious adverse side effects, and it is safe for physicians to prescribe, we can see how this is misleading and even a false statement. A reasonable person in the same situation could easily identify the link and would not claim what Dr. Vincent claimed. Additionally, when applied against Section 181 of the Corporations Act, we can see that Dr. Vincent had not discharged her duties in good faith and in the best interests of the corporation. So, in conclusion, we can see that the actions of the three directors have caused the share price of Noble Bio to be affected and contravene the best interests of the company. As directors, they have a fiduciary responsibility to guide their actions. If we look at a common law case of Darwell v. North Sydney Brick and Tile Co. Limited, we can see that a director should act and consider the interests of present and future shareholders, as well as having regard to the interests of the company as a commercial entity. To aid in this conclusion, we will hold the three directors against the business judgment rules as outlined in Section 180, subsection 2 of the Corporations Act. Those elements being that the judgment was made in good faith and for proper purpose. There was no material personal interest in the subject matter of the judgment. The director and the officer informed themselves about the subject matter to the extent they believed to be appropriate, and acted in the best interest of the company. We can see that all three directors are subject to the business judgment rules as outlined in Section 183. Looking at Patrick, we can see that his decision to delegate the drafting of an ASX statement and then have that statement be included in the board meeting shows that he acted in good faith and for a proper purpose. He had no material interest and he believed it to be in the best interest of the company. However, he had not informed himself about the subject matter to the extent that could be objectively seen by a reasonable person. Looking at Alice Long, we can see that as a non-executive director of Noble Bio, she brings with her a level of expertise and status to the Noble Bio board. When examining her actions, we can see that, like Patrick, used their delegation powers to instruct Dr. Vincent to draft the ASX announcement. Her judgment was made in good faith and for proper purpose. She had no material personal interest in the subject matter and believed that it was in the best interest of the company. However, like Patrick, she failed to inform herself about the subject matter to the extent that a reasonable person would. However, as stated earlier, her negligent action, like those in Sheehan versus Vercrow, did not cause the company's loss, or could not be seen in some instances to cause the company's loss. Lastly, Dr. Vincent. When examining her actions against the business judgment rule, we can see that her actions to draft a misleading statement were not made in good faith and for proper purpose. Would she have in her statement outlined that Noble Bio's research department are aware and are actively researching the link, this can be seen as making a judgment in good faith. However, her actions in choosing to not disclose this vital information when compared to those of a reasonable person can be seen to not be in the best interest of the company. In conclusion, I believe that given all the information at hand, both Patrick and Dr. Vincent have breached Section 180 of the Corporations Act. Their actions in relation to the issue of a misleading statement are not in the best interest of Nova Bio. I believe that Alice Lung has potentially breached Section 180 of the Corporations Act, but a defense of common law can be brought forward. Thank you for taking the time. Here is the bibliography.